Success is just a series of things you don't want to do that someone else chose to do anyway. Hi everyone, this is ceeactualized, and today we're going to be talking about why most people will not be successful in life, or why 99% of people will never be successful. The truth of the matter is, success is a choice, and it's a choice that comes along with a costly price tag. A price tag that most people are generally just not willing to pay. And today we're going to talk about why. Let no one lie to you that it's going to cost you something. It costs different people different things depending on what success means to them. It could cost you waking up early an extra 15 minutes because you chose to meditate, or you chose to self-reflect that morning for the next 3 to 6 months because you don't have any other time in the day to do that. It could cost you getting up early or ending your day an extra 30 minutes late because you want to work out and see your health and fitness goals become a reality in the year 2026. It could cost you not buying that dream bag, that bag that you've been dreaming about, because you want to save up for a trip that's going to contribute to your content for your YouTube channel. It could cost you sitting down to record a video even when you're not yet the best speaker, even when you're not yet the best storyteller, but you have a vision in your mind of where your channel is going, who you're going to be, or who you're working towards being. It could also cost you losing some friends who you come to realize aren't going the same direction that you're going, don't have the same vision that you have, don't speak the same language that you speak. It could cost you rewiring your mind and having a complete mindset shift, different from what you grew up being taught, different from the things you consumed throughout your previous life, and entering a different state of mind, reading new books, trying to find out about that vision that you can see, that only you can see and only you can believe in. Even when your loved ones are ridiculing you, mocking you, laughing at you, whatever the case may be, the truth of the matter is, success will cost you something. The end of this particular point is that this then creates discomfort in our lives, and majority of people are not willing to pay that price. So as you make that choice, the question is, what level of discomfort are you willing to endure to get to the point where you realize your goals or realize whatever it is you're envisioning? The second reason why most people will never be successful is because success requires an identity rewrite. Success requires a mindset shift. The person who you see in your vision in the future doing the things that you want to do, or whatever you define as success, that person is another version of you. The version of you that you are today can't fit in that future version. And that requires renewing your mind, thinking differently about things you've been taught, thinking differently about things that have been hardwired into your mind via the things you've been consuming since you're a kid, the content you consume today that you know has nothing to do with where you're going, and having to ditch all of that, having to talk to yourself differently, having to talk about yourself differently, both internally and externally. It's comfortable being who you are today, despite knowing that there's something you want to do differently. There's a level of you that you want to get to that's greater than the position you are in today. But who's willing to put in the work day by day, wake up and be different, wake up and think different, wake up and do different? Not many. The next reason why most people will never be successful is what I'd like to call the novelty hangover. This is when ambition, your vision got you out of the driveway, but then you wake up to realize 2 days later, a week later, a month later, that the success you are envisioning hasn't yet come. The success you're envisioning has not yet been realized, and your brain starts to ask you, how long do you have to do this until you become successful? For most people, that's too much work. For most people, that costs a lot because they ditched their old self for the next 2 weeks only to realize that the success they were thinking about is actually 6 months away or a year away. For some people, it's 5 years away. Look at some of the big founders of big corporations that we know about who started in their parking lot or garage or whatever it is, and how long did it take them from point A to point successful? So majority of us would rather stick in the parking lot where I have the vision, I'm ready to kick off, let's go, this is day one, but then what happens on day 120? And I think there's a book I saw about someone referencing rather called The Dip, where majority of people are stuck at the beginning of the curve. And then you have to go up the curve, which most people don't want to do because we said it costs a lot to do that. So what do you happen? It's kind of like the 99% of humanity will just decide to slide back down the curve or a mountain and stay on the low side, while the few decide, I'm going to keep going up regardless. The truth of the matter is that process of going up is what sifts out the 1% from the 99%. And I'm not just talking about wealth creation, wealth generation. This is in terms of career, in terms of business. How many times, if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, have you thought of this brilliant idea that you know is going to make you tens of millions of dollars, right? You can see the idea, you can see the customers, you can see the whole process, but then you realize on day one, you don't have a team, or maybe you can't afford a team, so you have to be the everything. Question, are you willing to do the everything for X number of days or X number of months or years until you realize your goals, you realize your dreams? Most people just aren't. My next point is the audience complex. And the audience complex is something we all do, whereby because we are not isolated human beings, we live in societies, we live around families, friends, guardians, whatever it may be. There's this thing about the human mind that as you're living your life, sometimes you're living it on the balance or weighing it on the balance of maybe people you look up to, or weighing it against, look at how far my friends have come. What about me? Have I, been able to accomplish what they've accomplished? Or maybe, when is it going to be my turn? I also have dreams. I also have goals. Then on the flip side of that is the cringe factor, or judging yourself internally, thinking, if I do this, is this person going to judge me for it? Or if I start a YouTube channel, maybe my friends are going to laugh at me, or the world is going to think, I'm not up to par, and things like that. So 99% of people will decide to quit even before they start. Why? Because the cost of success at that particular point is the people, or the perception of people around them. 99% of people don't care. People are busy with their lives. People have things to do. They have things to worry about. They have their own goals. And what you tend to find is, if you just sit down and actually, get to it, then the people who are supposed to prop you up on that journey, the people who are supposed to partner with you, the people who are supposed to hold your hand on that journey, do actually make contact with you at one point or another. My last point for today is environment versus evolution. If you haven't mentally left your current environment, which could be a limiting environment, which could be an environment that does not allow you to flourish, if you haven't done that and moved yourself mentally into the environment of success, into the environment of what you're envisioning as success, then the truth is you've already lost the plot. Many people can attest to the fact that they are products of their environments, but an environment is a physical reality. What you're envisioning in your mind is a future reality and a future possibility that can become a reality. And once you mentally move yourself into that point, then you're no longer limited by the limiting factors in your current environment. So it takes a lot to sit down and envision that. This is why people use vision boards, or maybe have like wallpapers on their phones to keep reminding them. So make sure that you're in a place where you're constantly exposed to elements, things, people of that future environment that you're envisioning. Look, I know this wasn't the motivational speech that you needed to hear to get you out of bed, or you were listening to on your run that was going to push you to be the next version of yourself that you've been dreaming about. But it's the truth that you needed to get you started. And if you're ready to take that next step, please join me on this channel by subscribing. We are building and architecting our dream lives in real time. I'll see you on the next one. This is ceeactualized. Bye.